Hi, Oak Lawn. We are spending some time today with Joel Farrell and Jeff Green, two folks that we, from our Oak Lawn community that we love dearly. And we're talking to them today about a new outreach ministry that has evolved out of the need in our community for COVID-19. And Jeff and Joel, thank you guys for being here with us today. Thank you for talking to our church family about what you guys have been up to. So could you tell us, there's no better folks to tell us about what you've been doing than you guys. So Jeff, do you want to start in talking about, what you guys have been up to?
Yeah, sure. I think once the reality of the coronavirus came to be in our daily lives and we realized that, okay, we're going to be sheltering in place for quite a while, Pastor Rachel had reached out to me and asked me how I was doing. But that gave me the opportunity to ask, okay, what about some of our homeless neighbors in our neighborhood that I know that they really depend on us for weekly meals, and I know we have a clothes closet and a food pantry. So I told her if there were any opportunities like that to, be able to be involved in ministering to them, that I would be down for that. I just live right down the street from the church. And since I'm working from home, then that makes it a lot easier to be involved in that way. So she did reach out finally. So I guess through, man, I wish I could remember the name. I want to say that it's Gateway. I think it's a homeless shelter
Family
downtown. And there were several families with children that they were putting up in local hotels so that they wouldn't be in such close quarters in the homeless shelter.
Yeah.
To just obviously for their protection. And so we kind of got a schedule down of, 2 deliveries a week. And I was, my day is Thursday. And so that's kind of, I think, how it started.
Awesome. And so, Joel, you guys have been delivering literally food to these families to eat in their hotel rooms, right? What kind of setup do they have? Do you know in the hotels?
We do. My backstory is because Oak Lawn reached out to me to check on me as well, which is so incredibly kind during this cuckoo town. I, on the other hand, because I'm in theater, everything's come to a screeching halt. So I had to finish some teaching, but I had time on my hands, and I thought, if I'm not doing something for somebody, I will go mad. And so what I did what I always do, which is I called one of the 2 Bachmans. So literally I emailed Rachel. It was just like, I have time and energy, and if there's anything, and she just, forwarded me. So it was so gratifying because, of course, stuff I've heard about forever in terms of help for the homeless, I was suddenly in the middle of, and it was so organized, so lovely. Kathy, Kathy and Cliff, it was nice because I could just sort of be a worker bee, which was a great way in. So even though I'd heard about the Stew Pot at First Pres forever, and I'd vaguely heard about Family Gateway, suddenly, this really magnificently well-organized machine of service just was like, boom, we were off and running. So early on, I think when we were delivering up north a bit, the families were in a hotel that was, it was nice. It was a nice place, but they didn't really have kitchen facilities. So part of the trick was, I think they had a microwave and maybe a half-size refrigerator. So the trick was just in the course of a week, what staples and other things do we get to them that will allow them, given that they can't really cook, to sort of function in this one tiny hotel room. Again, Cliff and Kathy were shrewd about that. Cliff cooked. I occasionally cooked a little bit. I don't consider myself a brilliant cook, but I can certainly do the casserole, the pasta dish. They've come in very handy in that, So really that was it. And then in the course of that, some of those families got moved to motels or hotels that did have slightly better kitchen facilities. I think the thing that for me was nice was just going to the same families so that as I got to know them a little bit, even though we social distanced quite well and, had masks and all of that, from a distance, we could just say, are you doing okay? And is there anything else you need? And et cetera. So you know, for me one day that turned into the hunt for baby pull-ups because one of the families had a lot of young kids, and you can imagine in a hotel room that is not of their own and not near a market how badly they needed. So I called Cliff and Kathy, and we were off and running trying to find them. So yeah, it just was, you know, Oak Lawn made it so incredibly easy to connect and suddenly be in the middle of it feeling somewhat useful. And watching the operation of the stew pot was amazing. I mean, nothing will make you feel better about humanity than pulling in there and watching a team of people, you know, just like super organized and ready to serve at every moment. So that was it.
Awesome.
You know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff, anything to add about what you learned or what the experience was like for you?
I think I mentioned to you before that it seems like some of these families have kind of transitioned out of this program. So hopefully that's a good sign that they've got a more permanent place to lay their heads. So the amount of deliveries that I've had really kind of tapered off. But I'm also involved in, I'm a court-appointed special advocate, so I'm involved with Dallas CASA. And the family that I had been working with, I mean, that case has been resolved for almost 2 years now, but I still keep in contact with them. And the kiddos were reunited with the parents. It was, you know, very much a happy ending, but I know that they're still really struggling. So they've got, you know, mom and dad are together. They've got 2 kiddos that are elementary school age, but they also have a grandmother living with them, and they have a special needs brother or, you know, uncle to the kids. And so I check on them every now and then. And the work that they do is work that they physically have to be there. They are, you know, definitely blue collar workers. And so I knew that this would be a tough time for them. So, you know, I mentioned it to Kathy and Brenda, and I think Cliff have been putting together a couple of boxes for me to take them every week. And so that's what I'll be doing here in a few minutes too.
That's awesome.
And they are just, you know, over the moon about it, and really thankful that, you know, to see a church really living out the gospel in this way is probably not something that they have really experienced in their lives. So I'm, you know, thankful to be a part of a place like Oak Lawn that really anytime I've said, hey, I need something, they're like, okay, well, they've never said no. Let's try to make it happen. And
amazing.
In this case, they have definitely made it happen. And it's really, I mean, this is 6 people that, you know, are able to eat in, you know, and they may not have been able to because both parents were unable to work.
Yeah, that's amazing. If someone in our church family knows of a family that might need help in this way, what's your recommendation on how they follow up on that or how they get help for that family?
Well, I don't know that I did the thing that is the most annoying, which is I just called the first person that I rely on to help the world, which was Rachel. You know, it could be more, I mean, I literally am just like, what email of the staff at Oak Lawn first comes to mind? So actually, Jeff may answer this better because I don't ever want to impose, but I just love that that network is tight and smart. And love is a verb where Oak Lawn is concerned, and you know, it's humbling in the best way to be able to dive in. I mean, we're all worried about people who aren't getting attention or help.
Yeah.
But to know that central location is there. So Jeff, do you have a better answer than I do, which is text Rachel?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're on the right track. I mean, Rachel's never been annoyed, or I mean, she's always grateful and thankful to hear from people that
she must be heavily medicated.
But yeah, I would say, I think maybe Cliff or Brenda, you know, really just reach out to whomever you know, and they'll get you in touch with the right person.
Yeah, and we'll make available as a part of the end of this video, we'll put some information about how folks can do that. Guys, I know we only wanted to spend a few minutes together today. I could spend much more time talking to you two, and just want to really thank you for all you've done, and you exemplify the Let Love Continue spirit of Oaklawn and doing what you've done to help with these families in your way. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
You too, Joe.
Take care. See you, Jeff.
Bye.
Bye-bye.